Tonight, several developing stories as we come on the air. One officer is dead, several staff members shot after a gunman opens fire inside a Pennsylvania hospital. New concerns for Pope Francis, his condition worsening as he struggles with a respiratory infection. And President Trump's military purge, top leaders forced out. First, that chaotic scene inside a Pennsylvania hospital. Authorities saying a gunman opened fire in the ICU, shooting 3 staff members and 3 officers, one of whom was killed. The suspect then holding a person hostage before he was shot and killed. What investigators are telling us tonight. Pope Francis in critical condition after suffering a new respiratory crisis. Francis given oxygen and a blood transfusion as his condition worsens. The Vatican now saying the Pope is not out of danger. President Trump touting the unprecedented shakeup at the Pentagon. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff out. The Navy's top admiral fired too. The president also praising Elon Musk and Doge, urging Musk to be even more aggressive in shrinking the U.S. government. Ukraine's counteroffer. ABC News has learned Ukraine is open to giving some of its mineral wealth to the U.S., but only a fraction of the $500 billion that President Trump is seeking as part of a peace deal with Russia. Hamas releases 6 more Israeli hostages as the ceasefire nears the end of phase 1. But will there be a second phase? UnitedHealth Group reportedly being investigated for questionable billing, the stock falling, employee buyouts being offered. All of this just months after its CEO was gunned down in New York City. The suspect making a new court appearance. New questions about the U.S. economy. Home sales are down and how consumers are feeling about inflation. Plus the winter warm-up coming to much of the country. Spring-like temperatures moving in. And the road to the Oscars. 13 actors nominated for the first time. We'll speak with 2 of them about their life-changing roles.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday. I'm Wade Johnson. We're following several developing stories tonight. Pope Francis is in critical condition after what the Vatican is describing as a respiratory crisis. But we begin with the deadly shooting at a hospital in York, Pennsylvania. That's west of Philadelphia. 1 police officer has been killed. Authorities say a suspect carrying a handgun and zip ties entered the intensive care unit at UPMC Memorial Hospital, taking several staff members hostage. They say he opened fire, striking a doctor, a nurse, and a custodian. The suspect was holding 1 staff member at gunpoint and had another worker in zip ties when police say he was shot and killed by officers. West York Borough Police Officer Andrew Duarte died on the scene. 2 other officers were also shot but are in stable condition. Tonight, authorities have not shared a motive for the shooting. ABC's Christiane Cordero leading us off from the scene in York, Pennsylvania.
Tonight, 1 police officer is dead and several others are injured after a gunman stormed a local hospital in Pennsylvania.
And we advise we have 2 officers hit by gunfire.
According to officials, the gunman, Diogenes Archangel Ortiz, entered UPMC Hospital in York, Pennsylvania around 10:30 a.m., armed with a handgun and zip ties.
He went straight to the ICU, and in the ICU, this individual went and held hostage members of the UPMC staff.
Adding, Ortiz tied the hands of 1 hospital staff member behind her back as police responded to the scene.
The individual was holding at gunpoint a member of the UPMC staff and ordered the police to get back to behind the doors.
Authorities say Ortiz fired his gun, striking a doctor, nurse, and custodian. As police officers attempted to engage Ortiz, he entered the hallway holding the hostage at gunpoint. An intense firefight ensued, and Ortiz was struck and killed. 3 officers were also hit. Officer Andrew Duarte, a law enforcement veteran, was killed. The shooting sending shockwaves through this quiet community.
The act of extraordinary bravery and courage by the healthcare workers here, by the law enforcement professionals. I know that because of their work, lives were saved today here at UPMC Memorial.
With authorities say no patients were injured and they continue to receive care here at the hospital. Investigators are still searching for a motive. Whit.
All right, Christiane Cordero, thank you. Overseas now, and word tonight from the Vatican that Pope Francis is in critical condition after a respiratory crisis. Let's get right to ABC's Marcus Moore in Rome tonight. And Marcus, what more are you learning about the Pope's condition?
The Vatican says Pope Francis suffered a serious asthma attack and needed extensive oxygen treatment today. He also underwent a blood transfusion to increase the level of red blood cells and platelets in his system. Tonight, the statement is much more concerning than the one the Vatican put out yesterday that had indicated the Pope's condition had slightly improved. Tonight, the Pope remains in critical condition, according to the Vatican, but he is alert and was able to spend part of the day in an armchair. Still, doctors say his prognosis is reserved as Catholics around the globe pray for his recovery. Whit.
Yeah, concerning update today. Okay, Marcus Moore, thank you. We move to politics now, and President Trump speaking publicly for the first time since that Pentagon purge. The president appearing at the Conservative Political Action Conference a short time ago, touting his efforts to cut waste from the federal government during his first month back in office. Here's ABC's senior White House correspondent, Selina Wang.
Tonight, President Trump taking a victory lap, touting his federal firing spree to a crowd of supporters gathered at the Conservative Political Action Conference.
I've ended all of the so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion programs across the entire federal government and the private sector, and notified every single government DEI officer that their job has been deleted. They're gone. They're fired. You're fired. Get out. You're fired.
Praising Elon Musk's campaign to slash government spending and ongoing purge, eliminating thousands of jobs across more than a dozen federal agencies.
And Elon is doing a great job. He's doing a great job. We love Elon, don't we?
And tonight, Elon Musk posing a new ultimatum to federal workers: explain what you've done or resign. Posting on X, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. Musk giving no details about the criteria or who will judge the responses. ABC News has reached out to the White House for clarification. Trump believes his actions are popular.
And we must be doing something right because we've got the highest poll numbers that I've ever had.
But polls show voters are concerned. A Washington Post Ipsos poll shows 53% of Americans disapprove of what Trump has done since taking office. 57% said Trump has gone beyond his authority as president, and only 34% approve of how Musk has handled his role. Republican lawmakers starting to feel the heat. Angry Americans across the country, from Georgia to Kansas, are pushing back.
We are all freaking pissed off about this. You're going to hear it and feel it.
In a district near Atlanta, Republican Congressman Rich McCormick facing tough questions.
The people would like to know what you, congressmen, and your fellow congressmen are going to do to rein in the megalomaniac in the White House.
And overnight, President Trump firing the nation's top military leadership, ousting General C.Q. Brown as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the nation's top military officer, alongside several other senior leaders. Brown, a four-star fighter pilot, has come under fire as Trump aims to rid the military of leaders who support diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, as Brown and some of the others who were fired had done.
Senior White House correspondent Selina Wang joining us now. And Selina, federal employees are already starting to receive those emails that Elon Musk referenced.
That's right, Whit. Sources tell us that the email asks employees to list 5 bullet points of what they've accomplished in the last week, and it says the deadline to respond is Monday night. Now, the White House says that the agencies will determine the next steps, but still no answers on who will be reading and judging those emails. Whit.
That major shakeup continues. Selina, thank you. Now to the tense negotiations between the U.S. and Ukraine over its war with Russia. The Trump administration demanding access to Ukraine's valuable natural resources as payment for military aid. And tonight, new details about a counter-proposal from Ukraine. ABC's Patrick Reevell reports from Kyiv tonight.
Tonight, President Zelenskyy under intense pressure, not just from Vladimir Putin, but President Trump. As the war in Ukraine approaches its 3rd anniversary, Ukraine and the U.S. are locked in tense negotiations over a deal that would give the U.S. access to Ukraine's valuable resources. The latest draft would require Ukraine to pay $500 billion to the US, paid for by taking 50% of revenues from much of Ukraine's natural resources forever, including oil and gas, as well as ports and other infrastructure. Trump saying it's back pay for the billions in military aid sent to Ukraine.
We're going to get our money back because it's not fair. It's just not fair.
The US sent an estimated $119 billion in aid to Ukraine since 2022. The amount Trump is asking for is 5 times more. Zelenskyy first suggested a rare earths deal, but so far he is refusing to sign because the agreement promises no security guarantees in return. Many Ukrainians outraged by the deal, feeling it extorts their stricken country.
A senior Ukrainian official has told us tonight that Ukraine has proposed to pay the US $100 billion. But that same official telling us that President Zelenskyy will never sign a deal that, quote, robs the country without providing any security guarantees. Whit.
Patrick Reevell, thank you. And tune into This Week tomorrow morning. Martha Raddatz talks with Senate Democrat Jack Reed and House Republican Mike Lawler about the Trump administration's push on Ukraine and dramatic cuts to the government workforce. We turn now to the Middle East and Hamas releasing 6 Israeli hostages. 4 were kidnapped during the October 7th attack, and 2 have been in captivity for more than a decade. Let's bring in ABC's Inez de la Catera for more on these emotional reunions. And Inez, there's also news on the release of Palestinian prisoners.
Yeah, with 6 hostages released today, they are Elia Cohen, Omer Shemtov, Tal Shoam, Omer Venkert, Hisham Al-Said, and Avira Mengistu. 4 were kidnapped on October 7th. 2 have been held by the terror group for more than a decade. They are the last group of living hostages to be released as part of phase 1 of the ceasefire deal. Israel, meanwhile, delaying the release of the hundreds of Palestinian prisoners that were set to be freed today. That decision reportedly coming in response to the delayed return of Shiri Bibas's body and the murder of her 2 young children shortly after they were kidnapped. There are concerns this could cause the fragile deal to fall apart. Negotiations for phase 2 were set to begin next week. Whit.
Inez de la Catera, thank you. Back here in the U.S., a report that the Justice Department is investigating UnitedHealthcare's billing practices for Medicare. It comes during a tumultuous period for one of the nation's largest health insurers, including the murder of its CEO. A suspect in that case, Luigi Mangione, appearing in court on Friday. UnitedHealthcare is now offering buyouts and facing potential layoffs, and stock shares have fallen more than 20% over the last 3 months. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Tonight, as Luigi Mangione's murder case moves forward, reports that the Justice Department is now investigating United Health Group's billing practices. According to the Wall Street Journal, the new civil probe is looking into allegations the company profited off false diagnoses. Last summer, the Journal reported United Health added diagnoses to patient records for conditions they weren't treated for, triggering an extra $8.7 billion in payouts to insurers. News of a DOJ investigation sending United Health stocks plunging 7% yesterday, a $30 billion loss in market value. The company calling reports of fraud misinformation. All of this as Luigi Mangione, the suspect accused of killing UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson, appeared in court, shackled and wearing a bulletproof vest. Luigi! Supporters chanting, signs reading "Free Luigi," others demanding a fix to the healthcare system. After he was arrested in December, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro addressing supporters of Mangione.
In some dark corners, this killer is being hailed as a hero. Hear me on this. He is no hero.
Mangione pleaded not guilty to all charges in connection to allegations he gunned down Thompson at the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan. His attorneys now claiming serious search and seizure issues during his December arrest in Pennsylvania following a multi-state manhunt. Mangione facing life in prison on the state charges, but his federal case carries a potential for the death penalty. That arraignment set for mid-March. And as for that federal investigation into United Health Group tonight, the DOJ declining to comment. Whit.
Morgan Norwood, thanks so much. To the economy now, and home sales dropping nearly 5% last month as rising mortgage rates and record high prices are putting off potential home buyers. Consumers are also expressing other concerns about the economy, including high food prices and inflation. Here's ABC's Phil Lipoff.
Across the country tonight, stubborn mortgage rates and limited supply sending home sales on a sharp decline. According to the National Association of Realtors, sales of previously owned homes fell nearly 5%. The average home for sale in the last month spent 41 days on the market. That's the longest period since January of 2020. Inventory so lean, it's putting pressure on many Americans' wallet, with the average price of a home at an all-time high for January. The slump in the housing market comes as confidence in the economy is fading.
I don't do impulse buys anymore. I can't afford to do impulse buys, so I just come out and get what I need.
In the latest Consumer Sentiment Index report, it showed many businesses and families are worried about continued inflation and tariffs on items like groceries, cars, and gas. The report saying consumer sentiment dropped 10%, marking its second straight decline. And major retailers are noticing. Just this week, Walmart, the nation's largest, admitting there are uncertainties ahead.
We have to acknowledge that we are in an uncertain time, and we don't want to get out over our skis here. There's a lot of the year to play out.
And there is a new poll tonight which says 62% of Americans feel President Trump has not gone far enough yet to reduce the cost of everyday goods. Whit?
Phil Lipoff, thank you. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Saturday, including the international effort to help ease America's egg shortage. And concrete falls from the ceiling of a tunnel in Boston. How the weather may have played a role. Next tonight in Boston, teams of inspectors are out looking for cracks in tunnels. That's after a traffic camera captured the moment concrete fell from the ceiling of the Prudential Tunnel on Friday. No injuries reported. Officials blame the freeze-thaw cycle for loosening the concrete. For much of the country, the big chill is followed by a big thaw. The next few days will feel like spring in some places. When we come back, easing the egg shortage. Help is on the way from overseas. To the index now, if you're having trouble finding eggs that you can actually afford, some help is on the way. The country of Turkey has begun shipping eggs to the U.S. to ease the shortage caused by the bird flu outbreak. Turkey expects to send about 33 million pounds of eggs between now and July. That sounds like a lot, but keep in mind the U.S. produced nearly 93 billion eggs in 2022. When we come back, countdown to the Oscars and two young actors on the roles that got them nominated for the first time. Finally tonight, countdown to the Oscars, only 8 days away. What to expect in the new Rising Stars.
The 97th Academy Awards are just over a week away. Blockbuster hit Wicked among 3 films nominated for more than 10 Oscars. This will mark Conan O'Brien's first time hosting.
I'm fine.
Some big-name stars among the nominees.
Popular. You're gonna be popular.
And 13 first-time Oscar nominees in the acting categories alone.
15. Cash.
Including Mikey Madison, who sat down with our Lindsay Davis discussing her role in Anora.
You learn Russian, you immerse yourself into this world of erotic dancing. What was the most difficult aspect of all of this?
I think they were difficult for different reasons, like, learning how to dance as realistically as I possibly could. It was very physically demanding.
And Monica Barbaro, who spoke with me about her first Oscar nomination, portraying Joan Baez in A Complete Unknown.
Joan Baez, of course, an iconic folk singer. How worried were you about how the fans might see you and how Joan herself might interpret your performance?
Oh, I was terrified. I wanted to do her justice. I also wanted to perfect her sound and make it as close as I possibly could to being her so that she was accurately represented.
The 97th Academy Awards a week from tomorrow. Lindsay and I will both be co-hosting the Oscars pre-show beginning at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm Whit Johnson in New York. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you'll tune back in tomorrow morning on GMA. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.